It's like Putin changed his mind quicker than Biden could change his shorts. Yeah, no, he's going into Ukraine. It's not just going to be stopping at the Donbass area, but there's a lot of shit going on this one. And hey, if he's going to be going in there and start taking over countries, that sucks. And that's fucking not a great sign for anybody, but it just looks like it's probably going to be Ukraine. But there's a bunch of shit going on in the background when it comes to that stuff. So again, where it goes from here, how long this is going to take, nobody really knows. Well, one person knows, him. The Kremlin says Putin will decide when Ukraine invasion ends. And it's like, okay, cool. It's not going to be from pressure from outside forces or anything like that. And you take a look at who's applying the force right now, and you realize that they aren't exactly in the strongest footholds, so it's not like they'd be doing anything anyways. So all of this stuff, really, you take a look, it's like over the past 5 years, I guess we probably all took the fact that it's been relatively quiet on the international front for the past half decade. I wonder why. Strong leadership in some of the most important places, and then all of a sudden topsy-turvy times lead to topsy-turvy events, and here we are. So you've got less than efficable leadership in the White House, in the UK, especially in Canada, okay? And would you think that anybody's really going to try to hold some of the most stringent leaders in check, especially from those leaders that I highlighted? Not from small remote countries or anything like that. These are the people who are at the forefront right now, and they've been, all consumed over the past couple of years with stupid coof policies and, cleaning out their militaries because people won't be getting the jab, and weathering down their own healthcare and other important resources over these dictatorial edicts. And then all of a sudden, hey guys, guess what? Even though we've called you racist, sexist, bigots, homophobes, white supremacists, and insurrectionists over the past 5 years, let's go fight a war in Europe. How about you go fuck yourself? How about that one? It's, first of all, not any of our concern, okay? And second of all, there's a lot more that the leadership could be doing on this one, because I've been trying to figure out what the fuck anybody's actually doing outside of, place in new sanctions. You remember, not that long ago, Biden said, any aggression against Ukraine would be met with a force. There's swift and furious, or whatever the fuck he was talking about at the time. But he said that he was going to be retaliating with a similar level of force. And what did he do? We got some more sanctions for him. Cool. You know who that's going to affect? The people of Russia. Okay, the people of Russia who aren't doing anything. And then the people at home. Okay, the people who are going to be paying 2-3 times more for gas, 2-3 times more to heat their homes, to operate their lights. This is going to affect every single person, and it's going to be the perfect distraction, because this is what this war is going to be. And that's why I was taking some extra time today to go through a whole host of websites to just see what everybody's reporting on, and it seems like a really unified front on this one, because guess what? War means clicks. Ergo, the media in unison is just going to be Putin man bad. Not saying that he isn't, and war, we need to go back and we need to start striking, because you can just take a look at comment sections everywhere. Nuke them. We need to go get them. Oh no, the Biden's being ineffectual. We should have just taken a stronger attack to begin with. It's not anybody's war outside of Ukraine and Russia. Sucks to suck. One of my homelands, okay? But you all could have been dealing with corruption a long fucking time ago. But you didn't do it. Instead, now you're staring down a gun barrel until, I don't know, maybe you give up over the weekend. We don't know for sure exactly how this is all going to play out, and the fact that, new sanctions are coming against Russia is not going to fucking play anywhere, okay? Like, what are they actually sanctioning? He's not allowed to bank anymore. It's like, okay, cool, you said that yesterday, okay? You said that whatever it was a couple of days ago. It would mean a little bit more if, you'd actually follow through on any of your claims. It's just like when, this invasion, last night when it broke through, and it's like, oh, fuck, that actually happened? Oh, okay, cool. The boy who cried wolf, which is just legacy media in totality, and Biden and all of his little lackeys as well. And it's like, okay, we would be paying more attention to this as a population, and we'd probably be a little bit more well-informed about the goings-on if you weren't constantly saying, it's going to be happening any day. Russia, they're bad, pay attention. Hey, look, they're going to be doing awful things. Hey, they're doing cyber attacks. It's like, wow, you're giving this second world power a little bit too much credit that they can start hacking throughout the entire world, even though every time that you prove that, aha, Russian cyber attack, which they hacked one of our elections, which amounted to $350 of Facebook ads. Cool. Great. Or you know what, colluding with a failed candidate in 2016. It's like, what the fuck exactly? Okay? Want to report a story? That's fine. Just don't try to make mountains out of molehills every single fucking time. And people might be able to take you a little more seriously going forward. But this is a referendum on the weak leadership. This is a referendum on the legacy media being just as corrupt and just as faulty as said leadership. And it should be a moment when everybody realizes that the era of the United States being the world police should be over. It was done. It was dusted. Things were getting pulled back. These same people saying, oh, just drop bombs and glass the place. You know, the biggest landmass of the biggest country on earth, you just fucking glass it. What are you, retarded? You were the same people saying, oh yeah, it'll be great if we start rolling back all of our troop deployment. Be logically consistent, you fucking retards. Christ almighty. Otherwise, you're no better than Biden, okay? You're just the other head. You're the other side of that coin. Well, let's see where we're at so far, because yeah, Biden, he made a speech today. I think it was all of like 10-15 minutes. I watched it, and it's like, it was thoroughly unimpressive, but at least he didn't stutter, stammer, try to eat the microphones. It's like, it was a little bit better than that. Biden announced additional sanctions and export restrictions against Russia Thursday in response to Russia's attack against Ukraine launched in the early hours of the morning. In the televised address today, Biden vowed to impose new sanctions against 4 additional Russian banks, as well as additional members of Moscow's elite's inner circle, and cut off half of Russia's high-tech imports. And yes, that inner circle of Moscow's elite doesn't involve Putin. Isn't that weird, huh? And again, it was just these vague terms. It's like, we don't need to know all the specifics. We should just know, if you're serious about Putin being the aggressor in this situation, you should probably be sanctioning him specifically, if you're going to be doing anything of importance. But again, the elites that are out there. I'd imagine the former mayor of Moscow's wife might not be a part of that list as well. And you're probably thinking, it's like, well, I'm not going to be talking with Putin, but, you know, if he drops a bomb on, like, say, I don't know, Burisma's office and destroys a bunch of records, that might be great. I'm just saying that there's some history that goes a little bit under the radar on all of this, and it won't be coming out for a long fucking time. And maybe some people, once they start getting their heads out of their ass, once they start thinking war would be a good idea, we need to stop aggression that's out there. Stop fucking biting down on the legacy media pill. It's like, okay, well, now we'll get back on track here. America stands up to bullies. We stand up to freedom. This is who we are. So we're gonna sanction them? But you said you were gonna act swiftly. No? Well, okay. Honestly, Biden put himself in this situation, okay? Because he had 3 paths ahead of him. Either full-scale war, and then now say he's going to war today, because attack against Ukraine is attack against freedom, or whatever fucking dumb shit he probably had on an alternate script before that one got tossed by his handlers. Impose the sanctions, which make him look weak, and of course he's going to look weak regardless. He woke up this morning. Or he'd do nothing, which made him look even worse. And you can't pull that one, because you were so entrenched and you were so central to this entire conflict, okay? We don't know for sure if he was the one who fomented all this stuff, or maybe Putin was planning this for a long fucking time. Highly likely, okay? We'll never figure that out, and we can't go back in time and take Biden out of this situation, but he was the one who raised this at the beginning of the year, and now he's trying to run on it like this is the reason why inflation happened. And it's like, no, ever since you took office, that's why inflation happened, okay? You started to rely on many more unstable countries around the world for your natural resources, for your trade, okay? For any sort of independence, you started to outsource it to the rest of the world with your neo-lib policies, and then realized that all of the resources that are at home could have taken care of everything like they had for the previous 4 or 5 fucking years. But no, we need to be back on the world stage. So now you get all of that, okay? So you could have done nothing. Only if you set yourself up as just an outside observer, it's like, oh fuck, that looks like it sucks. But it's also none of our fucking business, because the Ukraine is not a part of NATO, okay, is as much as Biden will like to say, and I'm sure he reaffirms it in here because he did in his speech anyways, but it's like, oh, if Russia strikes against any NATO forces, that's attack against all NATO forces, and we'll fight back against that one, until you walk it back and he's like, sanctions though. Ukraine's not a part of NATO. It's not a part of EU. It's not central to the United States in any form or fashion, okay? And Putin knows that, okay? And he also knows, what? You're just going to restrict some access to some of my bank accounts? Well, that sucks. I'll just go, borrow some funds from my friends to the southern border. You know, Joe, a southern border, something that you like to disregard in your own country, but to the south of Russia is a little place known as China, and they probably have some deep pockets if Russia needs any additional help with funding. So you're helping this along, stupid. Biden's speech came after a meeting with the National Security Council and a virtual summit with G7 leaders, and said that the sanctions are in coordination with a list of countries representing more than half of the world's economy. Who's a part of G7? I'm not gonna be able to list all of them off the top of my head, but I at least know some of them. Let's see how many we get. U.S. obviously, Canada, the U.K. I think it's France, Germany, Japan. I know there's one other place, because that would make 7, so we're real close to that. And they've all announced different sanctions, and we'll get to what Trudeau had to say about this nonsense here in another video, because he's doing some other things under the cover of this. We need to stand up for Ukraine. Sure we do, okay? Meanwhile, you enact your own tyranny on your own populace. Biden pledged humanitarian support to the people of Ukraine, whatever that means, and reiterated the U.S. commitment to defend NATO territory. Again, Ukraine is not a part of NATO. He also said the United States will not send troops to fight in Ukraine, after saying previously that he would be defending Ukrainian sovereignty. Okay. Russian President Vladimir Putin announced a special military operation. It sounds like fun. Not a lot of fun. On February 28th to defend Moscow against what he alleged are threats from Ukraine. Shortly after Putin's announcement, Russia launched attacks by air, land, and sea. Came after months of Russian troop buildup along Ukraine's border and a lot of stoking from good old Uncle Joe in the media as well. And again, what's not listed in here? He's not talking to Putin at all. Okay, like if you wanted to de-escalate the situation, if you wanted to stop his advance any further than it's already gone, wouldn't you be opening up those lines of communication? No. Instead, no, we're just going to isolate him and sanction him and then just hope he does something. This is like how your wife or girlfriend would argue with you. Oh, okay, you should just know the right thing to do. It's like, that's not how the world works, stupid. But here's what they're actually concerned about. Oh, we're going to cut him off financially. Cool. And then you can be like John Kerry, another one of his patsies who are out there. Another one of these old war hawks. But he's in charge of the climate, you know, whatever that means. I hope President Putin will help us to stay on track with what we need to do for the climate. He said this recently. This article was just published earlier today during an interview the BBC released on Wednesday prior to Russia's attack on Ukraine. Still, once the regime started to rattle the sabers about Russia anyways, so he would have been privy to some of this information as well with his long and deep ties to the State Department. He would have still been getting these briefs anyways, so he would have known something is brewing. That is to say, if the White House knew anything was brewing to begin with. So he was still out here babbling about climate to, I don't know who the fuck this is. So during an interview the BBC released on Wednesday prior to Russia's attack on Ukraine, Special President Envoy for Climate John Kerry expressed concerns that a war in Ukraine would have massive emissions consequences. Have you seen the clouds of smoke that have come out from that? I'm sure there's a lot of cement dust in the air right now. And divert attention from climate change, and stated, I hope President Putin will help us stay on track with respect to what we need to do for the climate. Kerry said, I'm concerned about Ukraine because of the people of Ukraine and because of the principles that are at risk and my own financial business stakes. In terms of international law and trying to change boundaries of international law by force, I thought we lived in a world that had said no to that kind of activity, and I hope diplomacy will win. Well, it's really hard when it's a one-way fucking street on this, but diplomacy was winning. But apparently a lot of people didn't like mean tweets. 80 million people voted for this, and you get exactly what you fucking deserve. And don't worry, though, even though Biden's in charge, he's been in charge for an entire fucking year, it's still Trump's fault that this is happening, okay? According to NBC's Malcolm Nance, okay, Putin's Ukraine invasion will get bloody. You've seen some of the pictures that have come out, and trust them however much you want. Trump is responsible for a lot of it. How? Because he's still not in the White House and you guys don't have anything to bitch about consistently? Okay. NBC intelligence analyst. Wow. Hopefully they're hiring for a new position. Said Tuesday the on the beat, whatever that is. Hopefully it's your feet walking down towards the unemployment line, you fucking brainlet. That former President Donald Trump will be responsible in part for the bloody consequences of Russian President Vladimir Putin's attempt to annex a portion of Ukraine. Why? Dictators are going to talk like dictators. Game knows game. Cool. Would you like to think of other cliches? Don't hate the player, hate the game. What are we doing here? Donald Trump in particular, in this particular circumstance, look, he's an autocrat. Okay, look, where's your evidence of that? But whatever. I said that when he became president. Oh no, that would mean he's a president, not an autocrat. Okay, Putin's strategy is to create an axis of autocrats. So somebody who's not in power is going to be a part of Putin's power structure across the world. Okay, and Trump was the American wing. Okay, cool. And then you guys, I guess, seen this and got 80 million of your other friends to come along with you on this one. Okay, and then overthrew that with an election. Aha. That's normally how you get rid of dictators and totalitarians, I guess, which was supposed to reposition the United States and was going to allow Europe to become an area of the expanded Russia. Oh, okay. This is just Donald Trump validating what we know about him. He's anti-democratic. That's why he left peacefully from the White House. He is ready to give the country away. How can you give away something that you don't own? How can you give away something that you aren't in control of? He added, look, okay, cool. This is going to get bloody. Is that a wish? Are you hoping that happens? Donald Trump is going to be responsible for a lot of it. No, the president right now is Joe Biden, okay? It's 2022, not 2018. Fuck is going on? I mean, he extorted this country with anti-tank missiles and need to know to defend themselves. Now, if you're talking about extortion, you should be talking about Biden, the president, okay, and his business dealings in Ukraine. All I know is we haven't given Ukraine enough missiles here to really stop what is coming. Only if somebody was making a phone call that you didn't misinterpret and impeach somebody over. Oh, but somebody who does make a lot of phone calls with Ukrainian diplomats? Oh, okay, cool. We're talking about Donald Trump now. Oh, okay. But if we do, well, maybe this whole thing can be reversed a bit, much to the chagrin of the media outlets. So I guess we'll see where this goes over the next couple of days. I don't know, unless anything really kicks off. I'll probably just wait and do some research on the totality of all this stuff, because I don't want to beat this fucking drum. Because again, this doesn't concern anybody outside of Russia and Ukraine. It sucks, and a lot of people could die, but I don't know, biting down hard on this whole we need to go back to war idea is a little bit fucking disingenuous and short-sighted, to say the least. With that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. Why don't you follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.